In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about supplies. If you're doing any sort of work on your own, you know that one of the main things you're going to have to do is keep up with your supplies. I've always had to deal with ink, which was one of my main issues at first, and that was because I was doing loan signing. Well, you know, if you've done loan signing or if you're doing it now, you know that ink as well as the paper can be a big issue. But now that I'm doing field inspection, it's not as big of a deal as far as those supplies are concerned, and I'm going to tell you why right now. So first off, let's just talk about the printers. I have two printers. One is a Brother and one is an Epson. Okay, so on my Epson printer, I use regular ink cartridges, right? I have all of the colors that come inside of the box. Right now, it's only two of them left in the box because the other ones are in the printer. Now, the mistake that I was making at first, whenever my printer would go to beeping saying that I needed ink and it would get on my nerves, I would just, instead of reading what it wanted, you know, I can do some silly stuff sometimes. Instead of reading what color it actually wanted, I would just go ahead and replace all of them and call it a day. And I never could understand, and I still don't quite understand why it asks me, do I want to print it in color versus black and white? But when I say black and white, it still insists on me changing out the other colors. If your printer does not, please leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it. I may need to get a printer like what you have, but mine will get on my nerves if I don't change out those colors. So what I've started doing is, which is what I should have been doing from the start, is changing the colors as needed and do not change all of them out at once. It actually saves up the ink. And I bought a box of just all black. It's a whole box of separate blacks. So because black runs out faster than the rest anyway, and that way whenever it says black, I just put a black in and I don't have to worry about changing out the other colors. And I realized that when I started doing that, it did crack down on me having to buy as much ink. Now, as far as the Brother, you know the Brother uses this, right? So you have these inside of that printer. The only thing about that is that when I was doing loan signing, I was using a lot of ink in my loan signing. And let me tell you something. As far as putting the ink in my Brother for loan signing, I didn't have a problem with it. But this ink can get very, very expensive when you're doing a lot of printing. And you already know that when you're doing loan signing, you're going to have to make 2 copies most of the time. I know I did. I had to make a copy for the people who were signing the paperwork. Then I had to make another copy that I would send off via FedEx when I was finished. So if it was 200 sheets for the signer, it was another 200 sheets that was going off. That's 400 sheets of paper. Now imagine if you do that 2 times a week, or however many times you guys are doing it. How much ink and how much paper are you going through? But now that I haven't been doing loan signing, I don't have that issue as much as far as the ink is concerned. I don't have that much problem as far as paper is concerned either. Now, as far as my paperwork, let's talk about it, okay? So now you see this right here. I'm going to show you this. You see this? This is not a whole set of workload that I have to do. This is, in fact, work that I have already done. Why do I still have them over here? And I'm going to explain to you why. So now, as far as doing field inspection, you know that you're not printing out as much paperwork. I think the most papers I print out when I go see an insured is probably 16 sheets at most when I print out a ticket. So as far as the paperwork, I don't have to worry about printing out as much, but being that my workload has gotten thicker, I most definitely still have a lot of insurance that I have to go see. And I was like, I'm not going to continue to just use up so much paper. If I come up with a strategy to do this, then I won't have to worry about using up paper, and I won't have to worry about using up ink. And it would be a long time coming between the times that I have to buy paper and the times that I have to buy ink. So I'm going to explain to you how I do it, and you guys put in the comment section what you do. And if it's a good idea for you, maybe you can implement that into what you do every day when you do your work as well. But as far as the paperwork concerned, let's talk about it. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I get workload in the system, okay? And when I pull up my workload, I'm looking at it, and in order for me to go to the insured, I'm going to have to print the paperwork out, and that's what the tickets are. So when I click to get my tickets, once they come down and I'm able to print them out, I was realizing that, at least early on when I first started, I had already realized that most of them are the same carrier. So Now I have a boatload of carriers. Okay, so I had to come up with something, or I was gonna still be using a lot of paper. So what I decided to do was, the first form gonna give you the name of the carrier, the insured, all of that good information, right? And then when you flip over to like the third sheet, you're going to actually have the forms. And the forms is the ones that you need to get completed when you go see the insured after you do the inspection. So on the front form, it tells you the name of the carrier. And on the third form, second or third form, it's going to tell you the name of the carrier again on the top of it when you get ready to get it filled out. So what I decided to do was stop printing out the actual forms over and over and over again. So that's where the pencils come in at. I take my pencils and I put it in my bag and I make sure I have it. And let's say if one is heritage and I go on Monday to see somebody who is heritage. When I go with them, when I get ready to actually fill the forms out, I use a pencil. And I put it in. Once I come home and I get it all in the system, I give it a day or two to make sure there's no comebacks from the QC and all of that good stuff. And it looks as though I'm going to get paid for it. I'm done with it. And then I may proceed to go on ahead and erase it then, or whenever I decide that I need to use it again. On the next time, I go see another person who is heritage. And I'm just using heritage because I don't want to be calling out all these companies' names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I just do that over and over. So I think I may have 2 or 3, some of them is 3 or 4 of the same insurance carrier on the top of the files. So all I do is, when I get ready to print out the next ticket, and I know I already have forms for that particular carrier, I print out the 2 top sheets that's going to give me the information of the carrier and the insured and the address and all of that good stuff and the direction, what they want me to do and the pictures that they want me to take. And that's all I print. So instead of me printing 16 sheets every time, I print out those 2 sheets and call it a day. And that's how I save on my papers. You guys, whatever you may be doing to help you to save on your papers or save on any of your supplies, please feel free to put it in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it, because I have no idea what you guys are doing. I'm pretty sure you probably have some strategies that can help me as well. But I most definitely decided I was not going to be constantly printing out this paper, printing. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, Deidre, think about it. It's not like loan signing. You're not going to give the papers away and ship some papers off. Once you finish with the papers, they just yours. All you need is a paper trail showing what information you've done as far as the insured is concerned, in case something comes back to you. And the first 2 sheets will do it, and along with whatever comments you might have put in the system pertaining to what happened with that actual insured if there was a problem. That's all you need. The actual forms themselves, you don't need them no more, because you've already put all of the information. You've transferred it from the paper to the computer. So once you know you're getting paid for it, you can just put it to the side. And whenever you need that same carrier again, erase and redo. That's all you have to do. Erase and redo. You go through and you make sure it is actually the same forms that you need based off the forms that you already have stapled together that you've used previously. And you just put them with the new 2 top sheets and go see the next person and just fill the paperwork out. They're all generic, so it doesn't really matter. What do you guys do? Hit up in the comment section and tell me what you guys do to actually save on your paper. And if you are not doing that and you think that it's a good idea, hey, I suggest you to go ahead on and start doing that as well. And I'm going to tell you why, because this has saved me. I don't remember the last time I have bought paper. And I'm just going to put it there. I'm going to leave it there. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. If you haven't subscribed. If you have, thank you so much for being a part of the family. And thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.